What I be trying to explain to them is like, if you and him beefing, if it ain't no blood spilled, or ain't died about it, it's really.
That was Lil Durk reacting to Lil Jeff's death, and at the time, it flew under the radar. But now that rumors are swirling that he may have played a part in it, that reaction is starting to sound a lot more like a confession. Especially when you realize Lil Jeff was locked in a serious beef with one of Durk's own artists, YFG Fats. Another thing that's been going viral, you ditched Bloodhound Lil Jeff in a song. The details of Durkio's involvement are wild, and what we uncovered might change how you see this whole situation. When keeping it real goes wrong, it seems like Lil Durk just can't catch a break. Not only is he facing murder-for-hire charges, but now his name is back in the mix over Lil Jeff's murder. But to really understand Durkio's reaction to Jeff's death, you've got to understand why he's even being mentioned in the first place. And it all goes back to the beef between Lil Jeff's close affiliate Lil Scoom and Durk's artist YFG Fatso. The whole situation kicked off over some basic rap asterisk that happens every day in the hood. Somebody allegedly biting another asterisk bars. YFG Fatso, who was coming up heavy in Chicago's drill scene, found himself beefing with Lil Scoom, a cat who was tight with the late bloodhound Lil Jeff. According to Fatso, this whole deadly chain of events started from the stupidest on earth. From like lyrics, bro. But anybody who's been around the block knows that in the streets, it ain't about what starts the beef. It's about who's standing when the smoke clears. The drama centered around two tracks, Lil Scoom's joint called Nightcrawler and YFG Fatso's Princeton Freestyle. Scoom was out here claiming that Fatso jacked his whole flow and some of his bars, but Fatso wasn't having none of that accusation. During an interview that would later prove prophetic, Fatso broke down the timeline that exposed just how backwards this whole situation really was. I bent made that song like a year before I dropped it. All the songs that's viral and all the songs I got on my YouTube old. I just started dropping new songs. All the other asterisk are old as hell. Like I got hella songs. I got a big asterisk catalog of asterisk. But I'm telling you like gang, I bent had this song before you. But here's where it gets real spicy. Fatso flipped the whole script and claimed that Scoom was actually the one stealing bars. I know you took my lyrics, asterisk. Your homie was just on the phone with me and told me that you'd be in the crib listening to my music. Me like, yeah, we asterisk ing with you, bro. So now the asterisk A who was pointing fingers was getting exposed as the real thief. That's that hood karma right there, calling somebody out for doing exactly what you've been doing. What made this whole situation even more tragic was that Fatso and Lil Jeff had history together. These cats weren't always enemies. They used to kick it, which makes what happened next even more cold-blooded. Fatso revealed their past connection during a live stream. You want to be technical? Me and Jeff used to kick it. If you want to be technical, me and Jeff used to kick it. But when it came time to pick sides, Jeff chose to ride with his day one Scoom instead of staying neutral or squashing the beef. That decision would end up being the worst mistake of his young life, because he was about to beef with someone who had serious connections and wasn't playing about his respect. Now YFG Fatso was moving different from these other asterisk. While Scoom and Jeff were out here chasing clout and trying to go viral off this beef, Fatso was showing the maturity of someone who had real street credibility and didn't need to prove nothing to nobody. Instead of immediately escalating to violence, he tried to brush off the whole situation. I ain't the N who mad about lyrics. I'm not. That ain't nothing for real. I got real-life situations going on, so I ain't finna really argue with some N** about no lyrics. That's why I never had really paid attention. But Scoom and Jeff weren't trying to hear none of that mature S*****. They were dead set on milking this beef for every drop of street credibility and social media clout they could get. They stayed on Instagram Live talking reckless, posting on TikTok, and basically doing everything they could to keep the situation hot. But the N*****S was chasing it. Stacy and the N*****S get on live and S***. Like, you can go to TikTok and S and see it. They on live, fatso. The streets were watching this whole situation unfold, and real N****S could see exactly what was happening. The comments on social media told the whole story, with people recognizing the clout chasing for what it was. One observer put it perfectly. In my opinion, Scoom and Bloodhound was just looking for reasons to start beefing with dudes so they can get their name out there. Another person called it this some 90s S***. A small Lil beef over maybe some stolen lyrics. The whole dynamic changed when Fatso and Scoom ran into each other in the most unexpected place, while both were visiting their peoples and county. This was the real test, because the internet is one thing, but when you face-to-face with a N that you've been dissing, that's when you find out who really about that action. I go to jail, I see a N***. He also talked about how he never considered him a rival. Like, I didn't consider him an op at first in jail. I don't know who the F he is. Before that, I didn't consider him an op. What happened during that jail visit exposed everything about Scoom's character. When it was time to back up all that internet tough talk, dude folded like a lawn chair. No smoke, no confrontation, just avoidance and fake conversation with his mama. That showed Fatso that this whole beef was really just internet clout chasing, and not some serious street S** that required real get back. Even after seeing Scoom punk out in person, Jeff and his crew kept the disrespect going online. They stayed on social media talking crazy, dropping diss tracks, and basically doing everything they could to keep this beef alive for the cameras. Fatso, showing the wisdom that comes from having real street experience, tried to handle this S** like a grown man. He reached out directly to try and dead the situation. Then I get out of jail, then they just keep. They all was going on Instagram and S***. Imagine before I had these N** numbers. That "leave it in the trenches" comment showed that Fatso understood street politics better than these young boys. He knew that keeping beef on the internet was dangerous because it attracts attention from all the wrong people. The police, rival gangs, and most importantly, people with the resources to turn internet beef into real-life consequences. But Jeff and Scoom were too caught up in the clout to listen to that wise advice. They kept pushing, kept disrespecting, and kept talking reckless without understanding that they were about to cross a line that would change everything. What they didn't know was that their target was about to become untouchable, protected by one of the most ruthless organizations in Chicago's music industry. While they were busy chasing likes and comments, YFG Fatso was making real moves that would elevate him from just another drill rapper to a protected member of an organization that doesn't play about disrespect. The internet tough guys were about to learn the difference between viral beef and street beef, and that lesson was going to cost them everything. The stage was set for a transformation that would turn a petty lyrics dispute into a matter of organizational respect. When real money and real power get involved, the rules change completely. And then, who thought they were playing games were about to find out they had entered a deadly serious situation where the consequences are measured in body bags, not views. When OTF gets involved, bodies start dropping. April 2024 changed everything for this beef, because that's when Lil Durk made an announcement that turned YFG Fatso from an independent drill rapper into a protected member of one of Chicago's most feared organizations. When Durk posted on his Instagram that YFG Fatso was among the 3 new signees to Only the Family, he basically put a target on anyone who had been disrespecting his newest artist. See, signing to OTF ain't just about getting a record deal. It's about joining a family that's known for sliding on anybody who disrespects their people. The moment Fatso became official OTF, anyone beefing with him was now beefing with an organization that had the bread, the shooters, and the connections to make problems disappear permanently. In the street hierarchy of Chicago's drill scene, OTF sits at the top, and they didn't get there by letting disrespect slide. Jeff and Scoom were too caught up in their clout chasing to understand what this signing really meant. They kept the same energy, kept talking the same reckless S***, not realizing they had just graduated from beefing with an up-and-coming rapper to disrespecting one of the most dangerous organizations in the city. That's the difference between N******S who understand politics and N*****S who just see everything as internet content. The fatal mistake came in late May 2024 when Jeff decided to go live on Instagram and play an unreleased diss track that Scoom had made targeting YFG Fatso. This wasn't just disrespect anymore. This was a direct challenge to OTF's authority. Jeff basically told the whole world that he didn't respect Durk's new artist, which meant he didn't respect Durk himself. In the organized street world that OTF operates in, that kind of public disrespect requires an immediate response, or else you look weak to your enemies. To understand why Jeff signed his own death warrant with that Instagram lie, you need to know about OTF's history of handling business. This ain't no regular rap beef where N****s just drop diss tracks and keep it moving. Lil Durk has built a reputation as someone who actually slides to his people, and the federal charges he's facing right now prove just how far he's willing to go. However, he did admit that a beef isn't a beef until blood is slipped. But what I be trying to explain to them is like, if you and him beefing, if it ain't no blood spilled, don't ing doubt about it. It's really nothing. He did express some regret about what happened to Quan and the violence in the Chicago drill scene. The whole situation that happened with Quan, though. How we live and how we go about our S****. And I'm speaking for the whole of Chicago. You ain't there. Shut the F** up. You weren't there. The feds got Durk locked up right now because according to court documents, he started plotting Quando Rondo's death immediately after King Von got killed. This wasn't no emotional reaction. This was organized, calculated revenge involving multiple people and serious money. Court documents show that Durk told OTF members he would pay a bounty to anyone who would take part in killing Quando, and his cousin DeAndre Wilson promised lucrative music opportunities to anyone who handled the situation. When they tracked Quando to that LA hotel, OTF didn't send some random street B******H. They sent a whole team with professional equipment and coordination. The fact that Quando survived but his cousin Lil Pob got killed shows you that these N*****s are serious about their get back, even if they don't always hit their primary target. But the Quando situation was just the tip of the iceberg. The feds have been building cases showing that OTF has been running murder-for-hire operations for years. Take the Stephen Mack situation. When Durk's brother D-Thang got killed 2 years later, federal authorities charged Preston Powell, J.B. Marley, and Anthony Montgomery Wilson, A.J., in a murder-for-hire plot connected to Mac's death. The evidence against these N******s is crazy. The feds got text messages between A.J. and J.B. Marley discussing getting paid by Durk, including one where A.J. straight up asks, "Did Durk give you that money?" That's not street asterisk. That's organized crime with paper trails and everything. Even more wild is that A.J. was at Durk's Aha music video shoot, which dropped less than a month after Mac got smoked. So you got alleged hitmen mixing with the legitimate music business like it's all one operation. That's how deep this organization really goes. The FBG Duck situation also shows how OTF moves when somebody disrespects their dead homies. Initially, everyone thought King Von had put the bounty on Duck for dissing T-Roy. But FBG Butter revealed that Durk was about to fly Duck's killers out in a private jet before they got arrested. That means while Von was getting all the credit for the revenge, Durk was the one actually financing and organizing the whole operation. This is the type of organization that Jeff and Scoom were disrespecting when they kept talking reckless about YFG Fats. They thought they were just beefing with another drill rapper, but they were actually challenging a group that has professional shooters, unlimited funding, and a track record of eliminating threats systematically. The timeline of what happened next tells the whole story. 2 weeks after Jeff's Instagram live disrespect, he was dead. That's not coincidence. That's the efficiency of an organization that takes disrespect seriously and has the resources to respond quickly. June 8, 2024, Jeff made his final mistake when he decided to slide on the 6600 block of S. Rhodes Avenue with Q50 and another shooter. They thought they were about to catch some ops slipping, but what they didn't know was that they were walking into a setup. Jeff jumped out first, immediately opening fire on his target, who ran for cover behind a car before making a desperate dash toward a house. Jeff, feeling that adrenaline rush that comes from being the aggressor, chased his target up the porch steps, firing the whole time. But what he didn't see was that this was a trap. The people inside that house were ready for him, with better positioning and more firepower than his crew brought to the party. The return fire was immediate and devastating. Before Jeff could even reach the door, bullets sent him flying backward off the porch and onto the ground. But they weren't satisfied with just stopping him. They wanted to make sure there was no comeback. Reports say they emptied a whole magazine into his body from above, making sure he wasn't getting back up to retaliate. Q50 and the other shooter tried to cover Jeff, but they were outgunned and outpositioned. When they realized their homie was gone and staying meant joining him, they made the smart choice and got the F* out of there, leaving Jeff's body on the pavement. When the police arrived, the scene told the story of a brief but intense firefight. 58 shell casings were scattered everywhere, and Jeff had been hit 19 times. That kind of overwhelming firepower suggests this wasn't random street beef. This had the hallmarks of a planned operation designed to send a message. While there's no direct evidence linking OTF to the specific shooters who killed Jeff, the pattern fits perfectly with how they've handled disrespect in the past. The rapid response time, the overwhelming force, and the message it sent all align with their documented methods of dealing with threats. Jeff's death served multiple purposes for OTF's street reputation. It showed that disrespecting their people, even over something as petty as stolen lyrics, would result in deadly consequences. It demonstrated that their reach extended beyond just protecting their main artist to include newer signees, and it reinforced their reputation as an organization that follows through on implied threats, making other potential enemies think twice before challenging them. The message was clear. OTF doesn't just make threats in songs, they handle business in the streets. Jeff learned too late that there's a big difference between internet beef and real-life consequences when you're dealing with people who have the resources and willingness to turn social media disrespect into permanent solutions. The body count keeps rising, and the streets take notice. Jeff's death wasn't the end of this story. It was just the beginning of a pattern that would show the streets exactly how OTF handles business when N's disrespect their family. What happened next proved that this wasn't a random violence or heat-of-the-moment retaliation, but a systematic elimination of everyone involved in disrespecting YFG Fatso. When organizations like OTF decide to handle a situation, they don't just hit one target, they clean house completely. To understand the full scope of what OTF is capable of, you need to look at their track record of getting back at people who crossed them. From using women to backdoor enemies, to paying gang members to eliminate threats, Durk and OTF have terrorized their ops for years. This ain't amateur hour street ***. This is organized, well-funded, and strategically planned violence designed to maintain dominance through fear. The murder of FBG Cash is a perfect example of how sophisticated OTF's operations really are. Cash made the fatal mistake of disrespecting King Von's memory by taking a photo next to Von's mural, flipping off the camera, and posting it with the caption, "Whole world witnessed yo main sniper, get his **** splat." That level of disrespect toward a fallen OTF member was guaranteed to bring consequences. Durk's response showed the difference between regular N***A and someone who thinks strategically about revenge. He didn't just beef on social media, he studied his target and identified weaknesses. Through his Instagram story, Durk posted a warning that seemed to predict exactly how Cash would die. "Don't dis thang if you be lingering and chasing H** won't end well." That's marched. That warning proved prophetic with deadly accuracy. On June 9, 2022, Cash was driving with a female in his backseat when his car got cut off at a stop sign. 3 shooters jumped out and opened fire, leading to a gunfight that ended with Cash dead. Word on the street was that the woman in his car set him up, exactly like Durk's Instagram post had predicted. That's not luck, that's intelligence gathering and strategic planning. The FBG Duck situation also demonstrates OTF's long-term approach to handling disrespect. When Duck dissed their fallen homie T-Roy and dead be ********, the response was swift and public. The broad daylight shooting on Michigan Avenue was caught on camera, showing armed men jumping out of vehicles and opening fire while Duck tried to escape. The message was unmistakable: disrespect OTF's dead and you'll join them. Given this history, Jeff's fate was basically sealed the moment he played that diss track on Instagram Live. But OTF wasn't done sending messages. Just 1 month after Jeff got smoked, his partner in disrespect, Lil Scoom, would also lose his life in circumstances that continued the pattern of systematic elimination. On July 7th, Scoom got killed in the Chatham neighborhood at 89th Place and Langley Avenue. Around 11:05 p.m., he and his 16-year-old homie got into an argument with someone that quickly escalated to gunfire. Scoom caught fatal shots while his young friend got hit but survived. Paramedics rushed Scoom to University of Chicago Medical Center, but he was pronounced dead on arrival. The circumstances around Scoom's death were telling. When police spotted a suspect fleeing the scene, it led to a foot chase where shots were fired at officers. The incident triggered a massive response involving CPD, SWAT, and multiple districts. But despite all that law enforcement presence, the shooter escaped in the chaos. That takes either extreme desperation or extreme confidence, the kind that comes from believing you have protection from powerful people. The elimination of both Jeff and Scoom within a month sent shockwaves through Chicago's drill scene. This wasn't random street violence. This was a coordinated cleanup operation that removed everyone involved in the original disrespect. The message was crystal clear. When you beef with OTF, they don't just come for you, they come for your whole crew. This systematic approach serves multiple strategic purposes for OTF. First, it demonstrates their reach and efficiency, showing that they can eliminate multiple targets quickly and professionally. Second, it sends a deterrent message to anyone else who might consider similar disrespect. Finally, it consolidates their power in Chicago's hip-hop hierarchy by showing that they follow through on implied threats. The ripple effects of these killings extended far beyond the immediate victims. Other artists and crews now understand that beefing with OTF members carries potentially fatal consequences, regardless of how trivial the original dispute might seem. The lyrics beef that started this whole situation seems almost laughably petty in retrospect, but it served as a vehicle for demonstrating organizational power and control. The deaths also highlight how social media has changed the game in street conflicts. What used to be localized neighborhood beef now gets amplified to massive audiences through Instagram Live, TikTok, and other platforms. This amplification means that disrespect reaches more people and requires stronger responses to maintain credibility. Jeff's decision to broadcast that diss track made it impossible for OTF to ignore without looking weak to their broad social media following. Looking at OTF's broader operations, it's clear they've weaponized reputation management through strategic violence. The federal cases against Durk have revealed the sophisticated nature of their organization, but those represent only the situations where enough evidence existed for prosecution. The deaths of Jeff and Scoom suggest many more eliminations may have occurred without leaving prosecutable evidence trails. The systematic nature of OTF's approach also demonstrates long-term strategic thinking. By eliminating threats quickly and completely, they minimize the risk of extended conflicts that could draw unwanted law enforcement attention or create opportunities for retaliation. Their methods suggest organizational sophistication that goes far beyond typical street crews. As federal investigations continue and more evidence emerges about OTF's alleged criminal operations, the deaths of Jeff and Scoom serve as stark examples of the real-world consequences of challenging established power structures in Chicago's drill scene. What began as petty internet beef over stolen lyrics ultimately became another chapter in OTF's documented history of using violence to maintain dominance. The pattern established through these continues to influence behavior throughout Chicago's hip-hop community. Artists, producers, and crew members now carefully consider the potential consequences of their actions and associations. The price of disrespecting OTF has been clearly established and paid in blood by those who failed to recognize the danger until it was too late. The streets have taken notice, and the lesson is clear. In Chicago's drill scene, OTF sits at the top of the food chain, and they didn't get there by letting disrespect slide. Whether it's stolen lyrics, social media beef, or disrespecting their dead, the consequences remain the same: swift, deadly, and final. Jeff and Scoom learned this lesson too late, but their deaths serve as a permanent reminder to anyone else who might consider testing OTF's reach and resolve. Thanks for watching. Check out other cards on the screen.